हेलो एवरीवन एंड वेलकम टू माय चैनल। और आज हम एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सा टॉपिक डिस्कस करने वाले हैं विच इज़ लिटरेरी टर्म्स प्रिस्क्राइब्ड अंडर इलेक्टिव इंग्लिश BA1 सेमेस्टर 1 पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी। And I would help you to make this journey of learning and education easy and comprehensible. So if you are new to the channel, let me introduce myself. My name is RUPINDE'Rs, and I would like to help all those private candidates who do not have the direct access to the regular classes, and I hope this video is going to be helpful for them. Though I have used very basic definitions, but I'm sure once the basic concept is clear, you can build your own empire on it. So first of all, we are going to discuss a sonnet. What is a sonnet? This is a literary term that is prescribed in BA1 semester 1. So it is a poem, and I told you in previous videos that the correct pronunciation, not the correct, the optional pronunciation of this word, it's poem and a poem as well. So it is a poem of 14 lines. तो sonnet क्या है? 14 lines की poem है. It is written in iambic pentameter. ये iambic pentameter में लिखी जाती है. इसका मतलब होता है अगर एक लाइन में 10 syllables हैं. Syllable का मतलब table. So the word table has 2 syllables. Nation has 2 syllables. Nation. So pentameter means a line with 10 syllables, and iambic pentameter means one is stressed and other one is unstressed. Every stressed syllable is followed by an unstressed syllable. So what happens in a sonnet? A single idea is introduced, developed, and concluded in a sonnet. It has a fixed rhyme scheme. So there is a rhyme scheme which I am going to explain in detail on the next slide. It has 2 types. So there are 2 types of sonnets, though there can be a number of versions of any particular genre of literature. So we are going to focus on these 2 prominent ones, Shakespearean sonnet and Petrarchan sonnet, though there is Spenserian sonnet as well, but I would only discuss these 2 here. So first is Shakespearean sonnet. Because Shakespeare was from England, so this particular sonnet is also called English sonnet. William Shakespeare used this form. It has 3 quatrains, which means a stanza of 4 lines, and a final couplet that is of 2 lines. So a couplet is very similar to what you know in Hindi as a doha. It follows the given rhyme scheme. So what is the rhyme scheme in Shakespearean sonnets? It is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and G, G. So Petrarchan sonnet, it is inspired by an Italian poet, Petrarch. It is also called Italian sonnet. Petrarch from Italy used and popularized this form. It has an octave, which means a stanza of 8 lines. Here it had 3 quatrains. It means it has 3 stanzas of 4 lines each. So this octave means 8 lines, and a sestet, that means a stanza of 6 lines. So it follows the following rhyme scheme. We have A, B, B, A, then A, B, B, A. This is octave, and C, D, E, C, D, E. This is sestet. So examples are John Milton's On His Blindness and William Shakespeare's Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. That is really important, and it's very beautiful kind of sonnet where he has immortalized the beauty of his friend Earl of Southampton, and he is not even exaggerating the value of his poetry when he says that मेरी poetry दुनिया रहते तक रहेगी, and people will, as long as my poetry is going to stay, people will remember you and your beauty. So let's have a look at this particular world famous sonnet, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, and understand the rhyme scheme, how to identify this rhyme scheme. So this is the great bard of Avon, William Shakespeare. And this is the example of his sonnet. I have already written the rhyme scheme here. A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So just look at the last words of every line. See, day, then temperate, May, date. So day, May, rate, date. This is how we have to find out the rhyme scheme. So if first word has been assigned this A, the word, if the word changes, we are going to change this this alphabet as well. So A, B, then day followed by May. This is again A, B, A, and then date. This is A, B, A, B. Similarly, shines, dimmed, declined, untrimmed. So C, D, C, D, fade, oust, shade, grossed, right? So growest or oast, fade and shade. These are again rhyming words. Then C and D. So this is how we have to find out the rhyme scheme in any poem. So let's move on to the next literary term. So the next literary term I'm going to discuss is a ballad. So a ballad is a very similar term that you can simply identify if you have heard somebody playing on piano in the streets around your house and singing some song, narrating some story. So it is very similar to that. So it's a poem or a song narrating or telling a story in short stanzas. So ballad singing या ballad है क्या? When any singer simply sings a story, that's called ballad. So ऐसी poem जिसमें कोई story narrate हो रही है, जैसे if you have watched the movie Khoj, where Rishi Kapoor is having his second birth and he is narrating the story, एक दीवाना था, एक हसीना थी, such kind of songs. So all those songs are ballads. Just an example, not all those songs are ballads. They just are very close to the example of ballad to understand what exactly a ballad is. So the authors or the writers, authors के लिए आप writers word को भी use कर सकते हो, of these ballads are unknown because these are a part of folklore. So if somebody has sang, उससे सुन के किसी ने और आगे उसको गा दिया, फिर और किसी ने सुन के गा दिया. This is how they pass on from one generation to another. So these are usually sung by the wandering, moving here and there singers, so who are not having any permanent place to sit and sing these things. तो जो moving singers होते हैं वो अक्सर ये गाते हैं. The ballads pass on orally from one generation to another, so they are hardly written. Nowadays everything is documented, हमारे पास सारा कुछ written में है. But पुराने समय में जब ये शुरू हुई थी तो they were hardly written. They were passed on from one generation to another orally. Every singer modifies and improvises or improves. Improvises means improves the existing ballad. तो कोई भी सिंगर अगर गाता था वो अपने ढंग से गा सकता था, मॉडिफाई कर देते थे उनको, इम्प्रोवाइज कर देते थे. आपने सुना होगा सिंगिंग कॉम्पिटिशन्स में that judges praise the singers for improvising the songs. So improvising means to add something new from your own side. So that's improving, improvising. In simple words, these are the dancing songs. The singers at times perform like dancers. So they not only sing, but they also dance. Commonly, a ballad has a stanza of 4 lines, which is called a quatrain. हम पहले भी इसकी बात कर चुके हैं sonnet में. So it has iambic pentameter and iambic tetrameter. So this is not confirmed, or you can say fixed, that only iambic pentameter will be used. There can be iambic tetrameter or other meters too. So the ballads deal with themes of love, hatred, tragedy, love, hatred, tragedy in love, and so on. And examples are John Keats' La Bella Sans Mercy, and this title stands for A Lady Without Mercy. Then S.T. Coleridge's The Rime of Ancient Mariner. Rime of Ancient Mariner, both of these are the examples of ballads. The next one we have here is an ode. So what is an ode? An ode is a long lyrical poem, serious in subjects. So ode में basically क्या होता? Ode में we address somebody or something. So it is elevated, means of a high level in style, and elaborated in its structure. Elaborated का मतलब है detailed in its structure. So मैं दोबारा बता रही हूँ, I have used very basic definitions of all these literary terms in order to just clear you the base. You can add material into these in order to enhance your answers. So in simple words, an ode is a poem that addresses someone or something. तो ode कौन सी एक ऐसी literary term poem है जिसमें आप किसी को, किसी इंसान को या किसी चीज को एड्रेस करते हो. एड्रेस करने का मतलब आप उसको संबोधित करते हो, आप उस चीज से या उस व्यक्ति से बात करोगे. So great poet Pindar is famous for his odes. His odes were classic and they were based on the songs by the chorus in the drama. The famous example of this type of poem are John Keats' odes, which are Ode to Autumn, Ode to Nightingale, and Ode to Psyche, Ode to Grecian Urn, Ode to Melancholy. These are beautiful odes. I have read them and I can just say they are class apart. They're matchless. In the Ode to Autumn, so this is the simplified, सबसे easy कहूँगी मैं इसको. This is what I would like to explain. क्या है इसमें? There are 3 stanzas. So in this Ode to Autumn, John Keats addresses the autumn season as a human being. So first वाले stanza में तो he describes autumn season, what happens in autumn season. It is responsible for the ripening of fruits. Then in the second stanza, he uses personification. He personifies autumn season as a winnower, as a gleaner, as a cider presser, and as a farmer. So in the last stanza, he compares the music of autumn season with the spring and assures that autumn has its own beautiful music. So it calls it season. He calls this season a close friend of sun. He talks about music of autumn season too. I hope sonnet, ballad, and ode are clear. Let's move on to the next literary term. So next we have a lyric. जैसे songs के lyrics होते हैं, so you can imagine lyric is a very simplest, not the simplest, but it's a simple form of poem जिसमें आप किसी भी topic पे कुछ लिख सकते हो. Very similar to songs. So it is a simple poem based on imagination regarding some lighter topic. It deals with the feelings, thoughts, and emotions of the poet. Usually, a single speaker speaks in such poems. Greek writers associated lyric. तो Greek writers ने lyric को किसके साथ associate किया? To a poem or a song that was played on a lyre. So lyre ये झूठे वाला lyre नहीं है. See, this is a homophone. दूसरा लायर होता है LAIR and this is LYRE, which means a musical instrument. तो जो poems को इस musical instrument लायर पे बजाते थे उनको lyrics बोलते थे Greeks के टाइम में. The lyric is uttered in the fourth person using I. तो lyric को utter is usually utter का मतलब होता है coarse, बड़ी rough सी sound produce करना, but यहाँ पे utter का मतलब है just to say. In order to avoid repetition and in order to give you some extra words, I have used this kind of vocabulary and these kind of words. For example, Walt Whitman's "Oh Captain, My Captain," that's a lyric. Then William Wordsworth's "Tintern Abbey," that's also a lyric. Next we have an elegy. So elegy क्या है? Elegy is simply the song of mourning. It is usually said, usually composed on somebody's death, on somebody's demise. So elegy is a poem of mourning. Mourning का मतलब होता है किसी की death पे अपना sorrow, अपनी sadness को express करना. That's mourning. So this is simply, it's a sad poem written in the fond memory of a loved one. तो अगर किसी की fond memory में कोई poem लिखी जा रही है, that is called an elegy. In simple words, it can be called a poem of tribute. तो यहाँ पे आप किसी को tribute देते हो, आप homage pay करते हो, respect दिखाते हो अपनी किसके लिए? Dead के लिए. Formal होती है ये, it's a formal It is a formal and sustained poem of lament. तो poem of lament का मतलब दोबारा से वही है कि poet of lament आप poem of lament आप यहाँ पे अपना दुख प्रकट कर रहे हो किसी particular बंदे की death के ऊपर. The tone is often serious and sad. तो जो tone है वो बहुत serious और sad होती है. At times elegies are meditative. तो elegies बहुत बार बहुत deep thought देने वाली भी होती हैं. You get into the deep thinking that what has happened and how it has happened. So जैसे मैंने बताया काफ़ी सारी elegies meditative होती है, deep thinking होती है उनमें. For example, there is an Indian writer, Suryakant Tripathi Nirala. So he wrote an elegy in the fond memory of his daughter, remembering Saroj. That was originally written in a vernacular language and then it was translated into English. So that poem is quite meditative. Poet is deeply thinking something that he was not able to give a very luxurious life to his daughter. So that's a beautiful composition, though he wrote that poem after 2 years after the daughter's death, and it's a very heart-touching poem. So the dirge is also an elegy. This is also called a mourning song, but it is short and less formal. So it's not that formal the way the elegy is. Some of the examples of an elegy are Lord Alfred Tennyson's In Memoriam and W.H. Auden's In the Memory of W.B. Yeats. So these are very important examples of an elegy. Next we have dramatic monologue. So what is dramatic monologue? The way its title conveys, dramatic means which has something of drama, and monologue means, mono means single, one, and log means it stands for dialogue. So where one person says something, that is a monologue. So dramatic, it means it involves a dramatic situation. So it's a poem that presents a dramatic situation in which a single speaker speaks to a silent listener. तो ड्रामेटिक मोनोलॉग कैसी है? एक ड्रामेटिक सिचुएशन है और इसमें एक सिंगल स्पीकर एक साइलेंट लिसनर से बात करेगा. मतलब लिसनर इज सपोज्ड टू बी देयर, लेकिन लिसनर की कोई आवाज नहीं आएगी, वो कोई आंसर नहीं करेगा. So the poem is organized in such a way that its main focus is on the temperament and character of the speaker. In such a poem, the poet or the speaker expresses his feelings, emotions, and sentiments in a loud tone to a silent audience or the listener. तो यहाँ पे जो poet है, जो speaker है, वो बहुत loud तरीके से अपनी feelings, emotions, sentiments को दिखाएगा, express करेगा किसके आगे? Silent audience या silent listener के आगे. So these poems have dramatic quality. Sorry, I missed one line. In the other words, it is also called self-conversation. So आप अपने आप से बातें करते हो. These poems have a dramatic quality in them, which means a dramatic situation is presented to give real touches to the theme. तो बहुत ही dramatic तरीके से चीज़ को बयां किया जाता है, present किया जाता है, ताकि उसको बहुत dramatic touch दिए जा सकें. These deal with different themes such as love, unrequited love. Unrequited love stands for, unrequited love का मतलब होता है where your love is not answered. Unrequited love, sadness in memory of good old times, excitement, revenge, treachery, which means cheating, depression, and so on. And examples are, ये सारे themes हैं इनके और examples हैं. The most famous examples of dramatic monologue are My Last Duchess, that is, the title is hiding behind my picture, my corner, and The Last Ride Together by Robert Browning. Both of these dramatic monologues are written by Robert Browning. Next we have interior monologue. So here again, interior signifies that we are going to talk of the inner feelings, and monologue again means single speaker is speaking. It is a poem that presents a private situation in which a single speaker speaks without any interference from a listener. तो यहाँ भी listener बिल्कुल भी interfere नहीं करेगा, एक single speaker ही बोलेगा. It is a kind of stream of consciousness. Stream of consciousness का मतलब क्या है कि एक बिना रुके एक प्रवाह चल रहा है आपकी कॉन्शियसनेस में, आपके फ्लक्स ऑफ आइडियाज, बहुत ज़्यादा आइडियाज हैं जो आपके दिमाग में चल रहे हैं, एंड यू एक्सप्रेस देम टू योर सेल्फ. सो दैट इज इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग. Stream of consciousness, this is a very important term for graduates and postgraduates in English, which means a flux, a flow of ideas. In other words, it is also called self-conversation. Once again, dramatic monologue की तरह, this is also called self-conversation. यहाँ भी इसका भी मतलब similar है. These poems have a dramatic quality in them, which means a dramatic situation is presented to give real touches to the theme. Now, why I have used similar vocabulary, and half of the term is quite similar to dramatic monologue. The reason behind is, if you'll have one term out of these two, you can use the same material. That is not very possible, very likely to happen, that you have both the terms in your exam. So that won't happen. So either you'll have in dramatic monologue or interior monologue. So same material will work. And most importantly, my main motive behind making this video is just to make the basic concepts clear to the viewers. So these deal with the different themes such as love, unrequited love, sadness, in memory of good old times, excitement, revenge, treachery, depression, and so on. Now, world famous example of interior monologue is T.S. Eliot's Love Song, which is Love Song is a short version of it. The complete title is The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, in which he calls his inner self to be accompanied to him, and they want to go on a journey. Let us, you and I. So this is how his this interior monologue begins. Next literary term we have is alliteration. Now this alliteration, what does it mean? It's a repetition. आपने हिंदी में सुना होगा, चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चम्मच में चांदी के चम्मच से चटनी चटाई. That's a tongue twister. So that's the example of alliteration. So the repetition of vowels and consonant sounds at the beginning of the words or within words. So it doesn't mean that you'll have repetition as far as the first letter is concerned. It can be at the second place. See, we have, I'll show you later. It is used both in poetry or in prose for unity, emphasis, and musical effect. It gives beauty to the piece of writing. For example, in poetry, S.T. Coleridge has used alliteration in the poem Kubla Khan in the given lines. So just have a look at how it is used in poetry. 5 miles meandering with mazy motion. So this M sound, see the underlined part? This is alliteration. The next is in prose, if education is defined as empowering, enlightening, and elevating, this is again alliteration, and I love to use alliterative words. This is again an illustration or an example of alliteration. This is the last literary term of this video. So this is assonance. It simply means, alliteration means repetition of both the sounds, the consonant ones and vowel sounds. Assonance means close repetition of vowel sounds between different consonant sounds. It is generally used to give a rhythmic effect to the poem or the prose. अच्छा, अब prose का मतलब क्या है? Prose simply में दूसरी बार ये use कर लिया मैंने word. Prose simply means to write something in non-metrical composition, in non-metrical language, in simple, plain language of everyday use. हम आम भाषा में तो poetry में बात नहीं करते. So that language which we use in daily lives, that's called prose. For example, round. Now just see these underlined vowel sounds. See all these. So round and round the spicy downs, the yellow lotus dust is blown. So this is an example of assonance. Now in order to make it more clear, there are 5 vowels out of 26 letters in English alphabet. So A, E, I, O, U, these are the vowel sounds. If you have repetition of these sounds, it's called assonance. And if there is a repetition of these sounds, that's called consonants too. And combined, this is called alliteration. So consonants are, other than these 21 left letters are called consonants. I hope all the terms are clear to each one of you. And if you know anybody who is going to appear in the final exams in private mode, or somebody who's working and struggling hard to carry out the studies, and one is looking for some kind of academic help, so do share this video with all those ardent learners जो शायद बहुत सारी terms में थोड़े unfortunate हैं, but I just wish to reach each student who is really ready to learn, ready to work hard for having a prosperous career in future. So with this, we have come to an end, and if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I'll keep on uploading such academic videos for your help. Thank you very much. Take care.